Hi everyone, today we are going to be reading the very last scene of Romeo and Juliet. So we are going to find out what happens now that the friar's plan has gone so awry. So scene 3 takes place in a churchyard with the tomb belonging to the Capulets. So this is where the Capulet family, anytime anybody dies, they are put into this big tomb, which is almost like a big building where they lay the caskets of their dead ancestors. So remember that Juliet is not buried under the ground. She is inside of a building. So Paris enters the churchyard with his servant who carries flowers. So Paris says, "Give me your torch and stand there. No, put the torch out. I do not want to be seen. Wait over there by those trees. If you hear anyone coming, whistle to me. Give me those flowers. Do as I say. Go." His servant, "I'm scared to stand alone here in the churchyard. Still, I will go." Paris, "Sweet flower, I lay flowers on your burial bed. How sad. Your blankets are dust and stones. Every night I will come to your grave and water your flowers with my tears." So he hears the servant whistling. "Someone is coming. What wretch sneaks in here tonight, disturbing my love's sleep? Night, hide me." So Paris hides. Now, he is talking to Juliet. So he is at Juliet's grave. He's at the tomb, saying that he's going to come to her tomb every night and cry over her death and bring her flowers every night. So even after Juliet's death, fake death, Paris still thinks that Juliet and him were lovers and that they were meant to be. So Paris is a very arrogant man. So somebody's coming, so Paris hides. Romeo enters with Balthazar, who carries a torch and tools. So remember that Romeo thinks that Juliet is actually dead, and in the last scenes that we read, Romeo bought poison, and his plan is to kill himself next to Juliet tonight. So Romeo says, "Give me the axe and the crowbar. Here, take this letter to my father early in the morning. Give me the light. Now, swear upon your life. Whatever you hear or see, stand back and do not interrupt me. I am opening this deathbed to see my lady's face. I must take a precious ring from her dead finger. I need it to live. Now go. If you try to peek at what else I intend to do, I will tear you limb from limb and scatter your parts all over this churchyard." So Romeo gives Balthazar a letter to deliver to his father, and he tells Balthazar to leave and not come back no matter what he sees, no matter what he hears, and he threatens to kill Balthazar if Balthazar tries to stop him from what he's about to do. So Balthazar says, "I will go, sir, and not trouble you. Romeo, you show me true friendship. Live, prosper, and farewell, good fellow." So Balthazar says to himself, all the same, "I will hide nearby. The way he looks, I doubt his plans." So Balthazar tells Romeo that he's going to leave, but Balthazar actually stays and hides so that Romeo doesn't know he's there. So Romeo says, "You awful tomb, you womb of death, you have gorged yourself with the dearest morsel of the earth. Open your rotten jaws, I'll cram you with more food." So here he compares the tomb to a monster that ate too much. He ate Juliet. So he compares the tomb to a monster that ate Juliet. So that's an example of a metaphor here. So he's about to open the jaws, which are the doors of the tomb, to get Juliet. So he opens the tomb, and here comes Paris. Paris, "It is that banished Montague who murdered my love's cousin and caused her to weep to death. He has come to shame the dead. I will stop him." "Stop, evil Montague. Can you take more revenge on the dead? Condemned villain, I arrest you. Come with me, you must die." So Paris thinks that Romeo is here to do shame or desecrate the tomb of Juliet, and Paris calls him a villain and tries to arrest him. Romeo, "Indeed, I must die. That is why I came here. Good sir, do not tempt a desperate man. Fly from here and leave me. I beg you, do not force me to sin again. Begone. I value your life more than mine. I have come armed against myself. Do not stay. Go away and live. Say that madman's mercy made you run away. Paris. I will ignore your nonsense. I arrest you for being an outlaw here. Romeo. Will you provoke me? Then fight. So Romeo and Paris fight, and Paris's servant says, "Oh no, they are fighting. I will call the guard." So the servant goes to call the guards, and while Paris and Romeo are fighting, Romeo stabs and kills Paris. But before Paris dies, he says, "Oh, I am slain. If you are merciful, open the tomb and lay me with Juliet." And so now Paris is dead. So Romeo says, "I promise I will. Let me see your face, Mercutio's relative, the noble Paris. What did Balthazar say as we rode from Mantua? I think he said that Paris was going to marry Juliet. Did he say that, or did I dream it? Or was I crazy hearing him talk of Juliet? To think it was true. Give me your hand, Paris. We have both written in the book of bad luck. I'll bury you in a magnificent grave. A grave? Oh no. Here lies Juliet. Her beauty makes this grave a hall full of light. Death, lie yourself there, buried by another dead man." So he promises Paris, and he kind of apologizes to Paris and says that he will lay Paris next to Juliet. So he lays Paris in the tomb near Juliet, and now he is speaking to Juliet. So Romeo says, "Oh, my love, my wife, death who sucked the honey of your breath has not stolen your beauty. It still lives in your lips and cheeks. Tybalt, is that you there in your bloody sheet? Oh, what better favor can I do you than to kill the one who cut your youth in two? Forgive me, cousin. Ah, dear Juliet, why are you still so beautiful? Death does love to you. Does death love you, too, and keep you in the dark as his bride? For fear of that, I will stay with you, and never leave this place of night again. Here I will stay with the worms that are your maids. Here I will set up my everlasting rest, and break the heavens' hold on this weary body. Eyes, take your last look. Arms, your last embrace. Lips, the doors of breath. Kiss and seal my bargain with dead. Come, bitter poison. Pilot my sick and weary ship onto the rocks. Here's to my love." So Romeo drinks the poison that he bought. "Honest druggist, your poison is fast. A kiss, and I die with Juliet at last." So he kisses Juliet for one last time, and then Romeo falls dead. Before Romeo takes the potion, he realizes that Juliet still looks very alive. He thinks that she just looks so beautiful even when she's dead. But we know that she looks, she still has color in her lips, she still has color in her cheeks because she's not really dead. But Romeo does not know that. So Romeo kisses Juliet, drinks the poison, and he dies. Right after Romeo dies, Friar Lawrence enters. So Friar Lawrence says, "By the saints, I must hurry. Oh, who's there?" Balthazar. "A friend, father, who knows you well." Friar. "Bless you. Tell me, good friend, what torch is over there that lends its light to grubs and eyeless skulls? I see it coming from the Capulet's tomb." Balthazar. "It does, sir. My master is there." "Who is it?" Balthazar. "Romeo." Friar. "How long has he been there?" Balthazar. "For a half an hour." Friar. "Come with me to the tomb." Balthazar. "I wouldn't dare, sir. He said he would kill me if I did." Friar. "Then stay. I will go alone. I fear something terrible has happened." Balthazar. "As I slept under this tree, I dreamt my master and another fought, and that my master killed him." So Balthazar fell asleep hiding under the tree, and he kind of remembers Romeo and Paris's fight, but he also thinks that he might just be dreaming. So Friar Lawrence enters the tomb, Romeo, what blood is this which stains the stony door of this tomb? Why do these bloody swords lie here in this place of peace? So he enters the tomb. He sees the bloody swords that Romeo and Paris used to fight. So he says, Romeo, you are pale. What? Paris too? Covered in blood? What an unkind hour. The lady moves. So Juliet starts to wake up, and this is right after Romeo has died, minutes after. So Juliet starts to wake up. Oh, friar, where is my lord? Where is my Romeo? So while this is all happening, the guards are coming, so they are heard approaching from off stage. Friar, I hear a noise. Lady, we must leave this nest of death and unnatural sleep. A greater power than we can defy has ruined our plans. Come away. There your husband lies dead, and Paris too. Come, I will hide you in the sisterhood of holy nuns. Do not stay to ask why. The guard is coming. Come and go, good Juliet. I do not dare to stay here any longer. Juliet, go, get away. I will not leave. So the friar leaves her alone. Friar is afraid of getting caught by the guard. He's trying to get Juliet to leave so that he can hide her. He's going to hide her in a convent with nuns. But Juliet says that she will not leave. So Juliet says, what's this? A cup closed in my true love's hand? Poison, I see, has killed him. Romeo, you drank it all and did not leave a friendly drop for me? I will kiss your lips. Perhaps there is some poison hang on them, to kill me too. She kisses him. Your lips are still warm. So here comes one of the guards, and off stage. Lead on, which way? Juliet. Noise, I'll be brief. Oh, happy dagger. So Juliet is a little angry that Romeo didn't leave any poison for her. She kisses his lips, hoping that there's still some poison on them, but there's not. She hears the guards approaching. She takes Romeo's dagger. This is your sheath, and she stabs herself. Rust there and let me die. She falls on Romeo's body and dies. So at this point, Paris's servant enters with the watchmen or the guards. Servant, this is the place, there, where the torch burns. First watchman, the ground is bloody. Search the churchyard. Go, some of you, and catch whoever you can. Pitiful sight. Here lies Paris dead, and Juliet bleeding, still warm and newly dead. She was buried here just 2 days ago. Go tell the prince. Run to the Capulets. Wake up the Montagues. So some of the watchmen return, and they found Balthazar. Second watchman. Here is Romeo's servant. We found him in the churchyard. First watchman. Hold him until the prince comes. Third watchman. Here is the friar that trembles, sighs, and weeps. We took these tools from him as he was leaving the churchyard. First watchman. This is strange. Hold the friar too. So here comes the prince with the Capulets and the Montagues. So now everybody is at the churchyard trying to figure out what has happened. So Prince Aeschylus says, what can go wrong this early in the morning? Capulet, what is it that makes the people scream? Lady Capulet, the people in the street cry Romeo, and some Juliet, and some Paris. Prince, what is going on? First watchman, here lies the noble Paris dead, and Romeo dead, and Juliet dead before, but still warm and newly killed. Prince, find out how these murders happened. First watchman, here is a friar and Romeo's servant. We found them with tools to open tombs. Capulet, oh wife, look how our daughter bleeds. This is Montague's dagger in my daughter's heart. It should be in Romeo's back. Lady Capulet, oh my, this sight of death is a bell that signals my own death. So here comes Lord Montague. Prince, come Montague, see your son and heir. Montague, Prince, my wife died last night. Grief over Romeo's banishment has stopped her breathing. Can more sadness plot against my old age? So here we find out that Romeo's mother died last night because she was so sad and upset about Romeo's banishment. And now he's about to find out that his son is also dead. So Prince says, "Look and you will see." Montague: "Romeo, what manners did I teach you to go to the grave before your father?" Prince: "Let us not cry any more until we can figure out what happened. Then I will rule upon this sadness, even if it means more must die. Meanwhile, be patient. Bring out the suspects." Friar Lawrence: "I know what has happened here." Prince: "Then say what you know." So here's the friar. He's going to tell the whole truth about everything. So Friar Lawrence says, "Romeo, lying there dead, was Juliet's husband. Juliet, there dead, was Romeo's faithful wife. I married them, and their secret marriage day was Tybalt's doomsday. Tybalt's death banished the newly made groom from the city, and Juliet cried for him, not for her cousin. To stop her weeping, Lord Capulet planned to have Juliet marry Paris. She came to me looking wild and begged me to stop this second marriage, or she would kill herself in my cell. I gave her a sleeping potion that would make her appear dead. Then I wrote to Romeo to come back tonight and take her from her borrowed grave when the potion wore off. But the person I sent could not deliver the letter. When it was time for her to wake, I came alone to the tomb to take her and hide her until I could send for Romeo. But when I came a few minutes before she woke, I found Romeo and Paris lying here dead. She then woke up, and I begged her to leave. Then a noise scared me from the tomb, and she did not come with me. It seems she did this violence to herself. This is what I know. And the nurse also knows of the marriage. If this is all my fault, I surrender my life. Take it before it's time, according to the law." So Friar Lawrence just confessed to everything that has happened so far throughout the play, and he takes responsibility for everything. So Prince Aeschylus says, "We still think of you as a holy man. Where is Romeo's servant? What can he say about this?" Balthazar: "I brought my master news of Juliet's death. Then he hurried from Mantua to this same place, to this tomb. He asked me to give this letter to his father, and threatened to kill me if I went into the tomb." Prince: "Give me the letter. I will look at it. Where is Paris's servant who called for the guards? Why was your master here?" Servant: "He came with flowers for his lady's grave. He asked me to stand back, so I did. Then someone came with a light to open the tomb. My master drew his sword on him, and then I ran away for help." Prince: "Romeo's letter agrees with the friar's words. It talks about his love and Juliet's death. Here he writes that he bought poison from a druggist and came to this tomb to die and lie with Juliet. Where are the enemies? Capulet, Montague, you see what your hate has done? Heaven tried to kill your anger with love. By allowing your feud, I, too, have lost 2 of my family. We are all punished." Capulet: "Brother Montague, give me your hand. Let a handshake be your wedding gift to my daughter. I can ask no more." Montague: "But I can give you more. I will build a statue of her in pure gold as long as Verona's name is known. There will be no one as valued as the true and faithful Juliet." Capulet: "I will do the same for Romeo and have him lie beside her. Poor sacrifices of our hate." Prince: "A gloomy peace the morning brings. The sun in sorrow will not show his head. Go now and talk of these sad things. Some will be pardoned, some punished instead. For never was a story more full of woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo." And that is the end of the play. So let's kind of unpack what happened here at the end. So Friar Lawrence tells everybody what really happened, and the prince basically says that by allowing the Capulet and Montague feud to continue, that was really what caused all of these deaths, was this stupid feud between the Capulets and the Montagues. And because that feud continued and they just didn't stop the fighting, all of these people have died. Lord Capulet lost his daughter. Lord Montague lost his wife and his son Romeo. Mercutio has died. Tybalt has died. Paris has died. All because of a feud and some really bad decisions that were made. So at the end here, Lord Capulet calls Montague his brother. So they shake hands. It seems like they finally make up. They realize how stupid their feud was. Lord Montague, Romeo's father, says that he will build a statue of Juliet to honor her. And then Lord Capulet says that he will do the same for Romeo. So at the end here, the lesson that we learn is a hard one. All of these deaths were caused by a really silly feud between two families. And the prince reminds them that they have all been punished. They've all lost people that they loved, and that they really should not continue with this silly feud. So in the end, because of Romeo and Juliet's deaths, the Capulet and Montague feud has finally ended. So stop here for today and go ahead and fill in your reading guide for the end of the play.